118 of the Democratic members of the House either voted no or voted to abstain from voting yes by voting present, or just wouldn't vote or didn't show up. That was a majority of all the Democrats. It did pass, but 118 Democrats wished that it hadn't. In other words, they didn't even want to have the courtesy after a man had been assassinated who had such a wide influence on youth of this country to honor what he had done. And this brings up a greater question. Why? Well, if you listen to what Ilhan Omar said about him, that he was a racist, and he was a racist every day of his life, and AOC said she was not going to honor him. And Jasmine Crockett said Caucasians, only 2 Caucasians, that was not true, by the way, that's everything she says is almost not true, she was angry because only 2 Caucasians, she said, had voted no. In fact, if you include the presents and who didn't vote, there were quite a lot of proverbial white people that did not want to honor him. But all 3 of those representatives that are often mentioned as the future of the new Democratic Party had one thing in common. They either did not quote or cite evidence that Charlie Kirk was a racist, or to the degree they tried to quote or refer to something they said, they did it inaccurately, because he was not a racist. In fact, there are plenty of clips when he is in the master of ceremonies and someone in the audience says he is a racist, a white supremacist. Charlie Kirk gets very angry and debates him and refutes him. So it was just the opposite. What they're angry about was, what was Charlie Kirk? I said in an earlier video, he was very successful in channeling the natural rebelliousness of youth to focus against the establishment. He's saying to young people, the establishment are baby boomer leftists. And these are the people who are responsible for a lot of our unhappiness. And that's why they're angry. And he was also angry at racialists, tribalists, like Jasmine Crockett, like AOC, like Ilhan Omar, who self-identify essentially by their skin color or appearance rather than incidentally. You got to collate what this event, this callousness, took place. This is at a time when Tyler Robinson just simply killed Charlie Kirk, murdered him, and was a hardcore leftist and had trans issues. This was at a time when we talked about earlier, Irina Zaretutska had been murdered by a 14-time release felon. This was a time when Luigi Mangione assassinated a United Care health executive and was canonized by the left. This is a time when my governor, Gavin Newsom, in a series of tweets, just recently said to Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary who oversees the Border Patrol and ICE, that you're going to have a bad day. And in fact, just today as I am speaking, a left-wing gunman who engraved his bullets with "Get ICE" or "Hate ICE" or something to that effect, started shooting at an ICE detention center in Dallas, Texas, killed one and severely injured 2. And these were probably detainees. So in addition to that, Gavin Newsom in August had said that he wants to take on the bully president and beat him up, smash him in the mouth. Then he said to half the country, I want to take these SOBs and hit them in the mouth. This is the governor of a state. Collate it all. I have a final question for all of us. Does this hatred that manifests itself among the left, is it top down? Does it trickle down from Gavin Newsom? Does it trickle down from Jasmine Crockett? And it goes all the way down, and then we see people like Tyler Robinson absorb it, or Luigi Mangione absorb it, or Antifa absorb it? Is that what's happening? Or is it bottom up? In other words, the BLMs of the world, the Antifas of the world, the shooters of the world, the crazy trans shooters lately, they are the shock troops, and they're attack on Tesla or their attack on ICE facilities, that filters up, and then the politicians in panic start to reflect those views and amplify them so that they don't feel they've lost their base. What's the answer? I don't care. I don't care if it's top down or bottom up or both or neither. Something is very wrong with the left. They have embraced violence. They have justified it. They feel that their superiority in terms of morality and wisdom justify any means necessary, and they become very dangerous people.
118 Democrats refused to honor Charlie Kirk after his assassination. Not because he was racist, they never had proof, but because he was effective. Kirk gave young Americans permission to rebel against the real establishment, the radical left. That terrified them. Meanwhile, the left excuses actual violence, from Antifa riots to trans shooters, while smearing conservatives as dangerous. This is moral inversion. Honoring a voice of dissent is unthinkable, but justifying criminals is expected. That's the bigger story here. The left no longer debates opponents. They dehumanize them. And when you normalize that, you're not just poisoning politics, you're greenlighting violence. If you value honest analysis and real conversations, make sure to subscribe. Hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments. What did we miss and what should we tackle next? Your voice makes this community stronger. Let's keep pushing for the truth together.